Hello everyone, this is Antonio Pisano, co-director of Marcel Mauer Architecture, and welcome to this short update on Marcel Mauer Method. Today we'll be talking about IFC coordination, precisely how we're going to use our workflow to integrate seamlessly with programs such as applications such as Revit or ArchiCAD. And the way we do this is through our layering system. So as you can see here, we have a little model that is representing a small construction. The thing I wanted to point out here are primarily the structure of the layers. In the new version of Sketchup, layers are now called tags, but it's exactly the same thing. And as you can see here, we have in a kind of logical sequence, number 0 for project, number 1 for building, number 2 for all the architectural components such as doors, floors, roof, stairs, walls, windows, so on and so forth. And then we've got for electrical design 2_ELE_FIR. FIR stands for first fix, and then SEC second fix. So first fix electric, second fix electric. Same thing for mechanical, first fix, second fix. And then for structural, you got beams and columns or whatever else you needed. And number 3, we have external components and internal components, which is now missing. So we're just going to add it here, 3_internal. And then we got a number 4, existing and new, as well as demolished, which is now turned off. And then a number 5, we got 5, 2D, 3D, HD, and LD. I'll explain what this is in a minute. What's interesting is that by simply modeling various things on various parts of the model according to this layering structure, we basically have a logical sequences, as I explained in my previous tutorial. So let's look at the roof plan. The roof plan is obviously showing the proposed, since the existing is only this little box and a sort of corridor which is covered by a roof, while the proposed is got also the extension. Now, how do we do this? It's simply by having part of the component shown under demolition. So there's part of the component which is demolished. Therefore, when I'm showing the existing building, I'm showing both existing, which is this, and demolished, which is that. If I switch from existing to proposed, I'm turning off demolished and turning on new, right? So this is the basic trick. So by going from existing to demolished, I basically turn off new in existing, and I turn off demolished in new. And the same thing works for the elevation. So I've got elevation existing and elevation proposed. This is the basics of it. And obviously the same thing is then reflected in layout. The thing I wanted to show you really is how to model in a tidy way. So if you turn off your outliner is like your hierarchical tree structure for your model. It's really handy to label everything. So, and this also allows us to connect to IFC standards. So, the entire project, which is here, is a component which is called mm_test project, and is defined as an IFC component as IFC project here. And if I click inside the project, I've got a building. Now I'm inside project and I am into building. Inside building for this project, for this model, I only have a roof and walls, but the same theory applies if you had a more complex project. The important thing is that you somehow bind together the model in a component, and you assign the component the correct IFC definition. In this way, if you open the model in Revit, everything is going to be there as you need it. SketchUp won't by itself fill in all the information in the outliner. Our suggestion is you do, so that you know, even if you don't know exactly where you are with your tags, it's always easier to go to your outliner and jump straight onto the part of modeling which refers to the existing part of the roof, for instance, or you can jump straight onto the new part of the walls. So that's the basic, and obviously as you start slicing your model with cutting plane, you can also quickly switch from one cutting plane to the next by having all of them correctly labeled here in your outliner. So the question then becomes, what do I include into my IFC component? The question is pretty straightforward. If you're dealing with models such as a chair or a toilet pan, that's obviously the IFC component. It is the component itself. But where do you stop when you are, for instance, modeling, a large number of internal partition? The answer is you bind within a specific and unique component what you're going to cost as a single entity. For instance, if I know that I'm going to cost a certain amount of square footage or square meterage of flooring, then I will bind into a unique component the amount of flooring I know I'm going to cost. Because obviously with dynamic component in SketchUp, you can measure the area, multiply by the rate, and you have your cost plan automatically built. So always ask yourself, how am I going to cost this model? And this will tell you how to structure your IFC definitions within the SketchUp model. The series of tutorials, I've kind of given you a bit of an insight on how we model. The idea is that to make BIM work for us rather than us working for BIM, which is exactly how Revit and ArchiCAD think. In SketchUp, you're free to model as much information as you want, and then you attach your IFC definitions where you want it. So you have a higher degree of freedom, and then you can produce, just as well as you do in Revit, state-of-the-art dynamically updated BIM information. This last tutorial is meant for architects and students coming and work at marcelmauer.eu. We can unfortunately provide assistance on our method for people not working with us, but as I said at the very beginning of this series, you're very welcome to use our model to help work in a more efficient way, or rationalize your working method, or just save on BIM licenses, because SketchUp is a lot cheaper than Revit. And as it is cheaper, it's also open for further improvement because it's got an open API. You can develop your own plugins. So yeah, if you need any more help with this, just grab me in the office, or just send me an email, or contact me on Slack or monday.com. And enjoy your work.